I've reported on lawsuit abuse for years, but I keep coming back to it because the evil just goes on and on. And I'm embarrassed that over the years, some of my salary has been paid by the very people I complain about.
Have you been hurt in a car accident?
If you've been hurt in a car wreck,
more benefits, higher cash awards.
Well, these sue-happy lawyers cost us a ton, and then they act like we should thank them for protecting us. And it's the fear of their lawsuits that has many nasty unintended consequences. We'll start this show with one of the less important ones, because frankly it's more fun. Stupid warning labels. Bob Dorigo Jones runs something called the Wacky Warning Label Contest. If you submit the one label voted the dumbest, you win $1,000. And after reviewing hundreds of entries, Bob has narrowed it down to his 5 favorites. And again, this year he agrees to let you, our studio audience, pick the stupidest. Anyway, you don't get to keep the $1,000, though. That goes to the person who submitted the product. So, Bob, show us, what are your 5 finalists this year?
Well, this is an electric razor. It has a warning label we've seen on a couple of products over the 15 years we've done this. It says, "Do not use while sleeping." Maybe somebody's trying to get an early start on the day.
And this happens because, why does this happen? And I thought I had the answer, but somebody sued because they did something while asleep?
Yes. Anybody who makes a product in America is constantly looking over their shoulder for the next lawsuit because they've heard about lawsuits like the guy who was playing basketball, dunked the ball, somehow managed to catch his teeth in the net, so he sued the net maker and walked away with $50,000.
And this just kills opportunity for people because that $50,000 could have been spent for something useful. But to be clear, that doesn't happen often. Usually ridiculous suits like that get thrown out. But even paying your lawyer to get him thrown out can cost $50,000.
That's right. Even when you win, you lose in America. You might ultimately win the lawsuit, but you've blown your life savings in defending your good name against that lawsuit. So we hear that all the time. And so if you don't put a warning label, you will be sued. And that's why we see the most unusual warning labels. Here we have a warning label. Here's a great little product. Let's say you're driving down the road, you have a wonderful idea, and you want to write a note to yourself. Well, you can take this little wheel mate, attaches to a steering wheel of the car, but it says, "Warning, never use this product while driving."
Now, I mean, that would seem like a reasonable, looking at it, a reasonable warning, because you don't want people using them while driving. But as the company explained when we called them, they said it's impossible to use while driving. The wheel has to be upside down to install the thing. So the car would drive around in circles if you ever tried it. But their lawyers said, put it on just in case.
That's right. That's what we hear all the time. The lawyers say, you'll be sued if you don't. One year we had a warning label on a fishing lure that said, harmful if swallowed. Same thing. The lawyer said, you have to put it there or you could be sued.
Product number 3.
A lot of us, people in your audience will have seen this. This is a little neck pillow that parents will put around the neck of their infants in the car.
And this is so the child can sleep or just be more comfortable?
It's actually safe. It keeps their head stable, keeps it from going back and forth and hurting the child. But the warning label actually says, keep this product away from infants and children. It's kind of hard to use it then.
We called the company. They didn't respond. Here, let's do this one next. This is number 4, the electric skillet. And the warning says, caution, griddle surface may be hot during and after cooking. I would hope so.
They'd probably be sued if it wasn't
hot. It's a griddle. They'd be sued if it didn't get hot.
Well, that's why it's a catch-22 in America. Sometimes you warn against something that's obvious, and somebody will say, since you produced a product that you knew could hurt somebody, you're admitting that you created a risky product. So sometimes even their own warning label is used against them in a court of law.
And a lawsuit is about winning. It's not necessarily about the truth. It's about whose lawyer is better, slicker, and can convince a jury.
That's
or
right.
just threaten to get that far, and you'd have to pay $100,000 to defend yourself.
That's right. 9 out of 10 lawsuits in America are settled. So they don't necessarily, the plaintiff lawyer who files a lawsuit doesn't care if it goes all the way to a jury because they know that they can
prefer it doesn't.
Right. They can drag it out through months and years in the courts, and they know that they're going to squeeze every penny out of that person that they're suing in legal bills, because not only is the lawyer that's hired for the person who claims they were injured, but the person who was sued has to hire their own lawyer, so that everybody in the legal profession wins except for the person getting sued.
And to be clear, it's the defense lawyers who like to stretch it out because they get paid maybe by the hour. The longer it goes, the better they do. The plaintiff's lawyers, they want a quick settlement, quick deal. All right, product number 5, this globe. What's the deal?
This actually says, these globes should not be referred to for navigation.
And we talked to the company. They said, we know our world is ever-changing. As a result, we would not recommend it be used for educational purposes, but merely as a decorative item. So it's like they're cowering for some problem. And this is our legal system. It's supposed to help victims. Why are you so angry about this? It helps victims, they say.
Right. We get a good laugh at these warning labels, but the bottom line is that even if I'm never sued, you're never sued, we're going to pay because all of these products cost more because of the litigation that's happening in America all the time. Not only do the products cost more, but worst, a lot of products are never brought to market because the inventor is so afraid that they'll be sued that they just shy away from bringing it to market. I'll give you a good example. There's a product that a lot of your audience may have never seen. It's an amazing circular saw that will stop in an instant if it touches skin. Now, I talked to the inventor. He said he tried for years to try to get stores to sell that, but the liability insurance was so high that he couldn't do it. Now, you had people this whole time losing fingers, losing hands because of these injuries. And here you had a product that could have saved their fingers, but it wasn't on the market because of litigation.
And because a product like that, which is about a dangerous thing, is the biggest target for lawsuits. So it's these things we need most that we often lose. They don't even introduce it. So it's that and the cost. And these warning labels, which seem harmless, except one result is then you don't read the stuff you ought to read.
Right. The plaintiff lawyers claim that they're making America safer by filing all these lawsuits. I would argue that they're making America less safe because as warning labels become so long, we're tuning them out. So the warning labels we need to read are getting lost in the jumble of the common sense warning labels like the one on a scooter that says, warning, this product moves when used.
And talk about long labels. You ever look at a birth control pill label? Any of you happen to have one? I happen to have one here, actually. This is it. Tiny fine print, both sides of the page. So the doctor doesn't read it. This doesn't make us safer. And if you did read it, you wouldn't want the pill anymore.
Well, if you did read that, you'd probably fall asleep, and like you said, you wouldn't need that pill.
So we don't read the things that might make us safer. And stepladders, they have 40 warning labels on them now, like don't dance on them wearing wet shoes or something. I mean, all these little stickers. Take a look at the stepladder you have at home.
Well, we think that the 3-foot stepladder may be an endangered species because it's not long enough to put all the warning labels on.
Last year's winner was a dust mask that warned, will not provide oxygen.
Right. It's a common $2 paper dust mask. Who would think that supplied oxygen? But we were told by their lawyer if that wasn't there, they could be sued.
30 years ago, law schools taught budding lawyers that, a lawsuit is expensive, long, hurts people. This is a last resort.
Right.
Today?
Well, today, many law schools teach lawsuits are a good thing.
Well, thank you, Bob. A lawsuit is now filed in America every 2 seconds.